You're listening to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news wrap on Desert Rock FM 96.5.
Welcome back to the Betoota Advocate's weekly news bulletin, recording live here from Budgy Smuggler Studios in downtown Betoota. You're joined by myself, Clancy Overell, editor of the Betoota Advocate, and of course Errol Parker, editor at large. How are you, Errol?
Good, mate. Sick as a pike. Wendell, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Always good to jump in the booth. How are you going, Clancy?
Mate, not too bad at all, not too bad at all. Zero transmissions in Queensland, we're keeping it that way. New South Wales is lowering. So is Victoria, I mean, when you really look at it. Yeah, they're doing all right too down there.
It's like it's just New Zealand that's letting the fucking team down.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Now we won't ever have a fucking bubble.
Now we have to go skiing in Port Moresby. Thanks a lot.
What's in the news today, Wendell?
Well, we'll start off with some national news, and Prime Minister Scott Morrison has informed the Illuminati that Phase 1 of Bill Gates' master plan is complete.
With the government announcing they'd secured 25 million doses of a new vaccine that is going to be free to the general public, Scott Morrison was also able to report back some good news to his bosses.
Not the good people at the top of the fossil fuel sector, but the lizard people over there in America, who under their puppeteer Bill Gates have been coordinating this extremely complicated shamdemic. Obviously no other news organisations went near this story, but we here at The Advocate, who report without fear or favour, broke that story so the public can't ever say they weren't told.
Just doing our civic duty, and Stephen McDonald left a comment on that story saying the shots from the vaccine will liquefy your insides so the lizard people can drink us with a straw.
Stephen leaves a comment on almost every story.
Certainly does. That sounds like a lyric from that new WAP song as well. In some less deep state government news now, and Morrison has buried the hatchet with Daniel Andrews this week by gifting him some very expensive Russian tea.
How nice. I think this was a great little gesture from the Prime Minister. I think he's growing into the role quite well. The two have been feuding about all sorts of things, namely the handling of the COVID-19 crisis in the aged care sector down there in Victoria. But that all looks like water under the bridge now.
Yeah, I think ScoMo's deserving of a bit of credit here for being the bigger man. For the first time, I think, in his relations with state ministers, state premiers, he has been the bigger man, sending the overworked Daniel Andrews some Russian tea that is absolutely nothing like the one the Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny consumed this week. This is a much nicer one, much more expensive. But yes, it did come from Russia, and it did come from Moscow, and it probably came from the Kremlin. So good on you, ScoMo.
Hopefully he enjoys it. And we broke another story of national significance this week, which was a report that found Tooheys Extra Dry is the Adelaide of beers.
Yes, the report found that the middling Australian dry lager, that is Tooheys Extra Dry, isn't a world beater. But you know, it does the job. It's the stock rims of beer, the auto-tune of beer, or the West Tigers of beer, if you will.
Always finishing in ninth.
I think this is pretty spot on here from this report. At least Tooheys, though, doesn't, cut you up into little pieces and cram you in a barrel.
Yeah, Adelaide is not one of the world beaters, but it's not bad. And we'll move along to some local news now. And a man given a choice between watching The Masked Singer or microwaving his own brain chooses to microwave his brain.
Yeah, this was quite a sad story, this one. A local man by the name of Paul John Bradshaw felt he had no other choice after his roommate insisted on watching The Masked Singer. Yeah, I guess he kind of painted himself into a corner, popped into the kitchen, put the thing on defrost and went whing.
Quick burst on the brain and the old microwave oven. Something reality TV will do to you either way. It doesn't matter if you physically do it or you do it over a couple seasons sitting in your living room. We've been told the man is recovering well and should be out just in time for next week's edition. He now, unfortunately, thinks Peter Dutton is our next Prime Minister.
A horrifying side effect there. And wrapping up with some more local news, and wife instantly drops the topic and cheers up after being informed that she's overreacting.
Well, Clancy, as someone who's been married 4 times, it'd be fair to say that you've dropped this one a few times at some of your wives.
Yes, I have. But I'm older and wiser than that now. Anyway, not very good problem-solving skills for this young bloke, if you ask me, but apparently it worked for him. And once again, he used the last of the toilet paper, forgot to stock up the bathroom, caused a bit of an argument, but he then successfully de-escalated it with the simple phrase, "You're overreacting."
Maybe don't try that one at home.
Yeah, that's some good advice there, Clancy Two Socks.
Righto, I think that's the end of this week's Bulletin. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in, as always, and we'll be back in 7 days' time to bring you all of the biggest stories. Until then, my name's Wendell Hussey.
My name's Clancy Overell.
My name is Errol Parker. Have a good weekend.
Hooroo! Hooroo!